Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Well, this was one of 4 videos we did yesterday, and this one was the Patreon exclusive, talking about revolution calling on humanity, really. Absolutely, humanity. There is so much going on at this point in time. It is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. By the way, this was the video we did on a rogue planet. Now, this was a live stream 5 days ago. Rogue planet the size of Jupiter entering our solar system. And then there was a Comet Atlas update, which is, again, a big, interesting, hot topic. I saw people say the story got wiped, and it did get wiped. So MSN, that story is now unavailable. But we covered it, thankfully, on our video. And in fact, when I was searching other news articles that were printed about it at the same time frame, it seemed like a lot was pulled. Ooh, a lot was pulled. That makes it just even more interesting. You know, this planet is one that Cindy has called Aurelia. And she's going to, we're going to go with Aurelia. She's going to give you a message about the Aurelians because, again, and this is Ammonite. Okay, so we're also going to talk about Ammonite, which is the smaller Sednoid planet. And we did a separate video on that about 2-3 days ago, I think. And, it's interesting because, again, anytime you see a planet anywhere, there might not be beings on it in our density, but I'll bet you're going to find there's life on it in some other density. And again, when we're outside of our very heavy existence, because we are in a very heavy, dense existence, and it's been dense in more ways than one. Yeah, absolutely. We are not the norm out there. In fact, telepathic communications is the norm between different beings out there living on different worlds. It's just the norm. It's what pretty much everybody, except for those of us that have been kept in this very dense, narrow, tight, dark control matrix, everybody communicates telepathically. The other thing too is when you're not in a big dense physical body like this, and you're able to move about, all you got to do is truly think about a place, and you'll be there. You'll be able to get there instantaneously. It doesn't even matter if it's hundreds of millions of miles away, because again, time and space is truly actually an illusion. It's all about having this heavy, dense experience that we have here. This is the video we did on Ammonite. So there are beings on both of these planets, and Cindy's going to give you information on them. And the other thing, before I hand off the microphone to Cindy, I just wanted to hand this little Mr. MBB 333 clip here. There's 2 clips he has of beings, entities going by, like this one's going by the cat, and the cat sees it. It just scoots on by. We might look at it as a typical ghost type of thing going on. Now, that's part of what I wanted to point out. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. Yes, there are ghost, quote-unquote, kitties and dogs and other animals. Also, many, many elemental beings of all different sizes. Elemental beings are kind of probably the most common form of entity out there. And, they'll move about like ghosts, per se. But I also wanted to give you what Cindy just brought up, which was really, really cool. They're not all necessarily from here. And this is another one. Now, look at that. That is so cool. It looks like it could be a kid skipping along, and then they've played with it. But we've gotten these videos ourselves firsthand so many times, and we've shared them with you. We've probably have over a dozen entity-related videos of our own firsthand experiences. So, again, there's tons of evidence out there. It's just that you've been brought up in a world system that wants to deny anything that you can't see and touch with your own eyes. Mm-hmm. In some cases.
Right. So You know, one of my favorite things to do when we were out in the desert was sit there and watch those funny looking stars kind of show up out of nowhere and go across the sky. And I enjoyed remote viewing them, and I enjoyed remote viewing the beings that were on those stars. And I've kind of implemented that in what we're doing these days, because we're going through so many changes. People are having so many changes, and it can be very, very difficult. It can be very painful. It can be very much like a band-aid, you know, that's stuck on the skin being torn off. We're having a separation, and it's a very slow separation. You know, let's not just add the band-aid, but let's say you have hair on that band-aid, and oh my gosh, it hurts. People are going through things, but what I looked at on this planet, Aurelia actually translates to golden ones. So I really like that name.
This is the Jupiter-sized one.
This is the Jupiter-sized planet that I took a look at to see what's on there. And this is the information that I got, and I hope this helps people, and I hope it brings them some clarity and as far as what's going on right now, because things, in some ways they might get easier, but in some ways, you know, this might be something that we have to work on ourselves quite a lot in the future here. So the planet Aurelia is a Jupiter-sized giant, a vast ocean of gases and storms glowing with iridescent light. Unlike Earth, it has no solid ground, only endless skies, clouds of gold and violet, and luminous storms that shimmer like auroras. Its true surface is not matter, but layers of vibration. The inhabitants, the Aurelians, are energy beings woven of plasma, sound, and light. To human eyes, they may appear as dancing ribbons of color or orbs of living fire. They do not speak in words, but in tones, pulses, and waves of light that enter directly into the heart and mind. They call themselves the weavers of frequency. Their purpose is to tune worlds. When a civilization reaches a threshold of evolution, Aurelia's resonance magnifies what is hidden. This is why Earth feels their influence now. And this is their message to Earth. Aurelia amplifies what lies within us. Fear becomes louder, but so does love. Those who resist transformation may feel chaos, division, or even physical strain. Those who surrender rise into a higher octave of being, greater intuition, empathy, and courage. Aurelia is not here to save Earth, but to activate humanity's own capacity to ascend. Aurelia's role in the cosmos. Think of Aurelia as a cosmic tuning fork. When its energy brushes a planet, it awakens the truth of that world. On Earth, this truth is separation versus unity, fear versus love. Aurelia magnifies the split, not to destroy, but to make choice inevitable. The journey ahead. Aurelia's beings whisper, the old frequencies cannot sustain you. Step higher. Your pain is the doorway. Do not close it. Walk through it. You are not breaking. You are tuning. And you are becoming. And it's a blessing that we get to rise up in frequency. But I think sometimes people might think, okay, everything is going to be good and okay, but honestly, when you're moving into alignment, things that no longer serve you and those things that are blocking your moving up in vibration have to fall away. And sometimes that hurts. Sometimes that brings pain. And sometimes people resist until, until you're just forced into something. So it's about listening very closely. You know, it's that feather brick truck. It's which one is going to get you. You know, which one are you going to listen to, the feather, the brick, or the truck? And we're all a little bit different depending on the situation. Some people are very, very flexible. Some people are not. And this is a very difficult road we have to go down. Oh, we're going to do Ammonite.
Yes, and then we're going to do Ammonite, because again, that was the small one. That was the small little planet. Now, it's interesting too, because, you know, that name came to Cindy. And, you know, I can't tell you how many times she's done stuff like this, where she picks up something like Aurelia, and then I do a little research and I find out that Aurelia, it's interesting. There was actually a film, but there was a mini-series, a television documentary mini-series aired in 2005 in the UK, and it was produced by Big Wave Productions. Program focuses on a hypothetical, scientifically feasible evolution of alien life on extrasolar planets, providing model examples of two different fictional worlds. And one of them they dubbed Aurelia, curiously enough, a tidally locked planet orbiting a red dwarf star and a large moon. Interesting. It is kind of interesting, Aurelia and the blue moon concept. When you think about it too, that, you know, the black sun, it comes up time and time again. We've gotten that is a reality, that there is this you know, dark sun, and what that does is it allows you to see, everybody to see into other dimensions, and then you realize just how packed with life this whole existence is. There's different consciousnesses always all around us. It's just pretty insane. I mean, we've had stuff, especially the last like couple days, things moving in the kitchen all the time, things falling off the shelf. We get this a lot when there's beings that recognize that Cindy can see them all the time. I occasionally can see them and sense them, but Cindy can all the time, and they come. It's just really, it's kind of like Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost, where the line is building, and especially when they get whiff of some of these things out there from just, I do think, even the videos and other people thinking of the things that we have discussed. It a lot of times sends what you might call ghosts our way, and it's okay because we're used to it, absolutely used to it. It doesn't freak us out when a ghost goes through the bedroom in the middle of the night, or something, you know, opens, closes, gets knocked off the shelf. If the dogs aren't concerned, you know, we just check the security, make sure everything's okay. It's just an elemental, it's just a ghost.
Okay, so Ammonite, you know, I get curious and I wanted to see what kind of beings I could see on Ammonite, because I think that our frequencies are changing. I think between this planet coming close and Ammonite and Three-Eye Atlas, I think these are all changing our frequency to a very high degree now. Something that we can feel but we cannot see, but I know it's happening. So I got curious about Ammonite. What are these guys doing? So the planet Ammonite is smaller than Aurelia, closer to Earth in size, but its surface is marvel of fluid dynamic landscapes. Mountains shift subtly, forests breathe in sync with the wind, and rivers curve in patterns that reflect the planet's inner rhythm. The planet is alive in every sense, not just in ecosystems, but in intelligence, energy patterns that the inhabitants consciously interact with. The inhabitants, physical but ethereal. They have solid forms, unlike Aurelia's energy beings, but their bodies are highly adaptive, almost liquid in flexibility. Very quick and witty, their minds process information rapidly. Their society thrives on innovation, improvisation, and humor. Symbiotic with Ammonite, every individual is partially integrated with the planet's energy. Their nervous system resonates with planetary currents, allowing instantaneous communication with both the land and each other. culture and intelligence. Inventors of evolution. Ammonites understand evolution not just biologically, but energetically and socially. They can intentionally shape themselves and their environments to explore new forms of life, movement, and thought. Collective growth. Each being evolves alongside the planet. As the planet's energy shifts, the inhabitants adapt instantly, creating a continuous loop of learning and transformation. Playful scholars. They value curiosity and wit as highly as physical skill. Challenges are met with both cleverness and grace, blending humor with intelligence. Interaction with humans. Lessons for Earth. Ammonites could serve as teachers of evolutionary harmony, showing how intelligence, adaptability, physicality can coexist with planetary consciousness. They demonstrate that true evolution is not linear, but relational. You evolve with your environment, your society, and yourself simultaneously. Contact with Ammonites might help humans understand how to co-evolve with Earth rather than dominate it, and how to tune your energy to ecosystems and collective intelligences. Energetic signature. While Aurelia amplifies frequency and spiritual awakening, Ammonite's energy is grounding, playful, and interactive. Humans might feel a spark of curiosity, rapid thinking, or sudden solutions to problems when aligned with Ammonite's resonance. And I could do a alignment with these planets. I just didn't do it this time, but we can still, like, moving forward, because I think they're going to be a big part of our lives and a big part of our unfolding, and we could do meditations that put us in alignment with these planets, whoever you think you might lean toward. And you might lean toward Aurelia one week and Ammonite the next week. But I do believe that there's something there, and I really believe that the Ammonites are already visiting. That's why I thought Mr. MBB's video was most appropriate, because I feel this playful energy coming into focus. And the Galactics did say a little while ago, you guys are going to start seeing some undeniable evidence that there's more going on than what you've been told.
Way more. Again, in fact, everything that we've been given is so far off from the truth. The truth is much more in the myths and legends than in what we've been given as science. We've gotten, as we had shared before years ago, that there's 39 planets in our solar system, and in fact we're a trinary system. So there's three stars that are together in one system, and our sun is just one of those. And we've never really seen the sun in its true form, because they've always had lenses around it. Think Dyson spheres. And that's all going to change. And, the Dyson spheres that are blocking the sun are disintegrating. And when the big flashes come, they will take it out. And, everything is going to be revealed. If you hang in there, work on pulling up your frequency, it's going to be pretty wild. What would you name this dog? That's an interesting, curious looking pup, isn't it? Bad hair day or just a wild new style? I don't know.
Looks like somebody from the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. So as always, guys, we appreciate your support over on Patreon and also with YouTube memberships. To make an appointment, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com. Source bless. Look forward to your comments. Namaste.
Namaste.